Hey there, I am back with another deck review, and today we're going to be looking at Parks playing cards from 59 Parks print series and Keymaster games. Now, Keymaster does board games, and 59 Parks does an entire series of posters, each of which celebrates one of the national parks in the US. It's done with a collaboration of different artists, but for this one, they collaborated between 59 Parks and Keymaster to produce not only this deck of cards, but also a board game with a very similar art style, all of course celebrating the beauty and the majesty of US national parks. I'm a big fan of the national parks. We've been to several of them, and it's kind of one of the things that our family likes to do is travel around to some of the national parks. In fact, I actually have some of the posters in the series and then some posters that are of a similar style to the ones that are in the series. So big fan of the art style from the posters and was excited to see how it came together in a deck of cards. So let's jump right into it, find out how they did. All right, starting with the tuck case. It's done on a matte green cardstock, and it's covered with gold foiling and embossing all the way through. It's a really striking color combination and has a nice luxurious feel to the tuck overall. The design in the center, you have this sort of sign in the middle, maybe reminiscent of those retro style national park signs you would see. It says 59 Parks, National Parks playing cards in the center. And then it's surrounded by imagery that just sort of reinforces that natural feel of the parks, including a mountain scene here, complete with the pine trees and the sun peeking out in the background, and then surrounded by leaves, all done in a really striking line art style. And it's accented by that gold foil and embossing to give it a really nice feel overall. Finishes it with a very simple border to frame it up, again in gold foil, and you have a really nice back or a really nice front to the tuck here. Sides, you got Parks playing cards by Keymaster Games. Other side, manufactured by the USPCC. Bottom has your ad copy for Keymaster Games as well as their logo over there. And the top has another line drawing of a mountain scene, but it's kind of partially covered up by that gold tuck seal. Back here is going to be that foiled and embossed version of the back of the cards. We'll get more into some of the details in a second. And then it finishes out with this gold postage stamp style seal. Nice shiny seal to it, matches well with the foil on the tuck case, and features the 59 Parks print series logo there. It's that eagle with the snake in its mouth, and then it's kind of got the National Parks emblem there in its hands. As you open it up, a few more leaves scattered on the inner flap here, and then you have this bear silhouette on one side and Made in the USA on the other. Nothing printed on the interior of the tuck case. That is the overall tuck case. I think really well done, very reminiscent stylistically of some of the like Theory 11 tuck cases you get. Particularly reminds me of the line art that's done on the MailChimp decks. One of my favorite ones of the Theory 11 decks. And so I like the style of this one a lot. I think they did really well. Now let's get into the cards. And here's the back design. Really nicely done line art style, very similar to what we looked at on the tuck case. Great match to it. Nice dark green background covered with gold metallic inks. I really like the combination of the colors here. Definitely stands out, and that gold metallic ink is a great choice. Features same art style and artwork that we saw in the front. You have the bear silhouetted in front of that mountain scene, sun peeking out, and then you have some elements here that kind of round out the center, with what kind of looks like a compass here in the background with the arrows pointing in two directions. Nice reflected two-way design there in the center, and then it's surrounded by tons of leaves all the way through, all in that gold metallic ink. Finishes out with that series of borders. You have the gold borders, green, and then the nice super thin white poker border. I will call to attention, it is a USPCC deck, and so of course you're going to get a few centering issues. Bit of a shame on this one, but all in all, I still think a really nice back design. All right, two jokers that you get. Very simple and clean. One black, one red, and they both just feature a silhouetted bear on the front with national parks underneath, and then Joker in the corners. So very simple illustrations on those. You get a couple of ad cards as well. One of them is going to be for Keymaster games. Features on one side a series of the games from Keymaster. You can see that National Parks game there in the back, as well as Campy Creatures. Campy Creatures is actually another game that has a deck of playing cards to go with it. And then on the other side, you get a little bit more of a close-up of the Parks board game. The other one is a little bit of a story of the 59 Parks print series. So you can go to their website and see a full collection of their national park illustrations. Definitely recommend that. They're beautiful posters. I absolutely love them. So recommend checking them out. And on the other side, you get a little bit of the credits for some of the illustrations. So we're going to see some of the park illustrations featured here. And here you can see some of the artists who put those together. I love that they use all different artists rather than having the entire series by a single artist. So you get a nice mix of different artists throughout here. All right, now into the deck. The Ace of Spades is your power ace. Features another line art style drawing. Big black spade pip, very simple and clean, and then has gold metallic ink to form a little line art design in the middle. Another mountain scene, sun peeking out, and then some ad copy at the bottom for USPCC, Keymaster, 59 Parks. Nice modern style pip and index there in the corner. Very easy to read, and yet still kind of cleaned up and more modern style to it overall. The other three aces, very simple, plain, just that smaller pip in the center. Classic, nothing too special on those. So just the one power ace. So that's your aces. The number cards are nothing too special, slightly, and I mean very slightly custom pips. Nothing too special on these. The black pips are black, the red pips are red. The orientation of the pips and everything is pretty standard, so nothing too special on these, but it keeps it a nice, easily usable deck through and through. So that is the pips on the number cards. Nothing too special, but the core cards are really where the artwork is celebrated most. And I think it's an interesting decision. So these are basically the prints that you can get from 59 Parks print series, really beautiful, striking, full color images, and they're basically just slapped onto the playing cards. I love these print styles, and we'll go into what some of the artwork is here because I think it deserves to be celebrated, but I don't think it does the greatest justice to that back design. I really like the back design. I really like the prints. I don't know that they really go together. You know, we've been looking at simpler, cleaner line art all the way through to go to full color illustrations. I think an interesting and unusual choice, maybe a little bit of a clash, but let's go into the cards because I do think that it is still fantastic artwork that should be celebrated. All right, Everglades National Park makes its appearance on the Jack of Spades. Beautiful wetlands down in Florida. I love the wildlife that you see, as it kind of crawls through the swamps there. And a little alligator peeking out in the background. Maybe it's a crocodile, I don't know. Queen of Spades, this one's Acadia National Park in Maine. Beautiful coastline views. You can go on like cliffs and stuff there. Also features 5 lighthouses, so the lighthouse gets its feature here. Kind of out looking over the water. This is the Portahoe lighthouse, one of the 5. King of Spades, Rocky Mountain National Park. Very prominent mountain range, obviously in the US. Some beautiful jagged peaks, especially in the winter, kind of capped with snow. Really striking look to it. And this one's made even more impressive with the stag perched up on the rocks there, silhouetted against the light. Very nice, majestic looking image on this one. Jack of Diamonds, Joshua Tree National Park. This is an interesting one. They have these kind of cool trees here. These are called Joshua trees that grow all around the park. They were named by Mormon settlers who thought that the tree, these little branches that twisted up, they reminded them of the story of Joshua in the Old Testament as he raised his hands up to the heavens in prayer. And so they named it the Joshua tree after him. Nice silhouetted, the birds sitting all on the branches there. Cool looking trees. Olympic National Park up in Washington makes its way on the Queen of Diamonds. And you can see more of that really striking full color imagery they use here with that sunset in the background. Nice one. King of Diamonds, Yosemite National Park. I like that they did this one at night. Obviously, beautiful scenery all the way through, but one of the nice things about Yosemite and a lot of the national parks is they're further away from light pollution in some of those bigger cities. And so there's some places where you can get just fantastic views of the night sky. You can see the Milky Way and things that you can't see in some of the bigger cities. And so I like that they featured this one in the dark and really let you celebrate that night sky. Jack of Clubs Arches National Park. This is one I definitely want to go to. Those cool natural stone arches that are just sort of weathered away and leave these sort of bridges over the top. And I like that they did this one with a winter scene as well. Queen of Clubs, another look at the night sky with Zion National Park. Another beautiful look at the stars that you can see when you get further away from the light pollution. You know, it's not one of the parks that's featured in the deck, but if you ever want to really see a night sky, go to one of the national parks that's designated as an international dark sky site. Big Bend National Park is one that I've been to that is an international dark sky park. Basically the darkest skies that you can see and the best views of the night sky, and it is 100% worth the look. It's really stunning. One of the most impressive things I've seen. So recommend checking those out if you get a chance. Yellowstone, one of the more popular parks in the US. You've got Old Faithful there in the background, Geyser, and then some of the bison. The bison are everywhere at Yellowstone. In fact, if you drive around the park, you will almost certainly get stuck in a line of cars who are all just patiently waiting for a bison to cross the road. All right, Great Smoky Mountains. This is the most visited park in the U.S. Mostly drive-through, at least that's what we did. But it has beautiful scenery on your drive, these really majestic waterfalls, and if you get lucky, you'll see a bear. I don't think we saw anything that looked this cool with the bear posed in front of a waterfall, but still a really nice national park. And then Queen of Hearts, the Grand Canyon is, of course, probably the most famous or well-known of the parks. And you can hike down to the bottom, maybe kayak or even camp down there if you're interested. And the King of Hearts is Mount Rainier. Active volcano back there in the background is Mount Rainier. And they really highlighted that beautiful spring scene in the front with the bears crossing in the front. So great job on all of these posters. You know, I think it's a shame that the poster style doesn't really fit with the deck quite as much. It kind of distracts from the fact that it's great artwork on the posters and great artwork on the back design. But as a deck of cards, I definitely think it still is a nice deck to have in the collection, even though I wish they'd done more with those courts, or at the very least, you know, maybe work them into the deck a little more or something like that. But all in all, still a really nice deck of cards and one worth checking out. As far as handling, it's USPCC. It's on this super crushed stock, very thin stock, and it handles beautifully. Fans, cuts, all that really nice out of the box. Can't complain at all about this one. Definitely like it quite a bit for the handling aspect of it. So that is the look at the deck of cards. What about uses of this one? You know, I think it's a great, for any national parks fan in your life, I think this would be a great one to pick up. My wife, who does not like cards at all, still enjoyed looking through this one, and I think other national parks collectors would as well. It's really, to me, I think best probably used as a gameplay deck. Nice, fun artwork to celebrate, nice, easily readable and usable deck, and just a fun one to spice up a game of cards above all else. But that tuck case would look good on any shelf for any collector as well. Anyway, that is it. That is a look at national parks from 59 Parks and Keymaster Games. Hope you enjoyed, and make sure to subscribe for more deck reviews and unboxings. Thanks, and I'll see you for the next one.